Morning, Jason. It's Carlos.
Full time.
I hear Carlos. I hear my good buddy Big Mike in Minnesota saying it's go time. I agree with you. Apologize for the
John in
slight delay.
Mobile.
John
Hi, good
Ashcroft
morning.
in Mobile, Alabama. And who else has just joined us on the call?
Jonathan Williams from New York.
Hey, Jonathan Williams in New York. Welcome, my good friend. How's the weather in New York?
It is, well, there's no sun out today, so yeah, it's kind of a little bit cold, but it's bearable.
Yeah, I'm in the great city of Spokane, Washington, and I'm not going to be cut out for the winters here. I can tell you that because it's starting to get cold, you know. But our special guest that's joining us today from San Diego, she knows not what we speak of. And that is Miss Sarah Renee, an intuitive healer and kind of a psychic medium to the other side. And I'm absolutely grateful to bring her out today as I'm going to go ahead and mute
all
the
callers
lines.
are muted and they can unmute themselves.
And if you can't hear that on your end, it says all callers are muted and they can unmute themselves. And the way that you'll do that is just press *6. And the reason I'm doing that is simply because this is going to be one of those live and interactive sessions. I will invite you to take some notes because we're going to bring this esoteric and the woo-woo stuff down into the applicable and the practical that we can use on a daily basis. So I will invite you to be an active participant.
Muted.
Something happened. I will invite you to be an active participant in this process, and you can press *6 to mute and unmute if you have any questions as we go along, because I think we're going to be able to get to a real awesome, good, juicy.
Jason, sounds like you muted yourself out, Jason.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me now?
Unmuted.
I did. Somebody pressed something to mute me. Huh. Thank you, Tony. This is going to be a process where you're going to be an active participant, an active listener, and engage as an active student. So make sure you have some pen and some paper handy because this will be an exercise that will directly and instantly apply to your daily life, your business, and your relationships. And I think we're going to be able to get to the walking down through a guided process with Sarah Renee is going to kind of demonstrate this process for us. And then I think at the end of the call, we're going to be able to take it one step further with her if we so desire. So with that out of the way, I'd like to go ahead and, before I introduce, in fact, my special guest, set a reminder to come back tomorrow. We have an outstanding guest that will be joining us again from the great state of Florida, Rachel Feldman, who is an outstanding networker. She is also a systems builder, so she has my heart in networking and building systems. And she's also a great coach. She's got a great process down. She is, when it comes to health and wellness, there's just simply no one better. So if we had to go out and handpick a featured guest for this call, Rachel Feldman would absolutely be right up there. So make sure you set a reminder to come back here again, same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow. So with that out of the way, our special guest today, San Diego, California, Sarah Renee. She is a psychic medium who has been born and endowed with a special gift from God that brings these messages through from people who have died as well as higher consciousness. And she refers to these guides, these messages from higher consciousness as guides. She's helped thousands of people to find closure, clarity, peace of mind, and to know their purpose. She's worked with a diverse range of people from CEOs, entrepreneurs like us, celebrities, not like us, and firefighters, law enforcement, stay-at-home moms, troubled teens, young kids who have lost siblings or parents, ex-cons who are trying to get back on their feet and find a new way, and everyone in between. She's been blessed with some of the best reviews on Yelp, which is impossible, from her clients, as well as loyal and supportive fan base. I mean, you laugh, but it's absolutely true, and everyone knows it. Like, you have 17 5-star reviews on Yelp. Like, where did this come from? Sarah has, she's also led several group events and at yoga studios, but also private retreats, and these are big high-end health mastery retreats in La Jolla, California. I could go on and on. Her introduction is indeed impressive. You can read more about her if you so desire. And I would absolutely recommend getting on her newsletter. You can read and get on the newsletter at healwithsarahrenee.com. Healwithsarahrenee.com. And we'll place the link to the website in the description of this call recording that you can find on SoundCloud, YouTube. But also, if you're subscribed to our daily podcast and replays here, you'll get that delivered to your inbox about an hour after we hang up. So with all of that out of the way, how art thou today, my lovely lady? Welcome to our guest as a first-time and long-time friend. You and I go back
Yes,
4 or 5
good morning.
years. This just so everybody knows, this is a call that's a long time in the making, yeah?
It is. I mean, God, what we were saying starting like back in 2011, 2012.
I didn't
we
go
started,
look officially.
Connected.
Yeah, I did not go look officially, but man, you and I go back a long way.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that the timing finally worked out, and you're here. I mean, this is outstanding because people, I would never, admit this publicly, because publicly I always say that no one ever rejects me, and everyone always says yes. But you actually, I think you actually rejected me once or twice because things just weren't right yet. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm sure it was just the timing. So basically, as you said, I'm a psychic medium. I'm based here in San Diego. I started out, I was born and raised in Arizona, so I'm a desert rat when it comes down to it. And I kind of always just thought I was strange when I was young. I just knew things that other people didn't know. I was really sensitive to other people's energies. I would know if, a friend was like sick or going through a hard time, even before anyone would say anything, that kind of thing. And when I was really little, I had some kind of scary, paranormal experiences and whatnot. And then, like most kids, grew out of it. As a teen, I tried to disconnect from it because, at that age, when your intuition is going against what your mind is telling you to do, it just turns into this internal struggle. So I used a lot of, drugs and alcohol to just kind of disconnect and turn that off. And then in my 20s, I ended up moving out here to San Diego to do yoga teacher training, which I think through yoga is how we connected originally. That just really kind of took me on this spiritual journey, and it helped me kind of develop my own, healing practice, my own protection techniques. And then I decided to quit drinking, completely altogether. And then that was when, my gifts really started coming out like super strong. And I worked with a mentor of mine to really develop them and master them. And then, people just started coming to me for readings. I wasn't even charging in the beginning. And then I slowly but surely started charging and doing it professionally. And now I'm blessed to do this as a full-time career. So it's been awesome.
I love that. I had my microphone muted out so you couldn't hear me writing. One of the things that you said, and there's a quote that I wrote down just the other day, and of course you can't find it whenever you need it. But it says, it's an axiom of spiritual growth that your deepest gifts are often capped over by your most stubborn obstructions and self-protections. And whenever you were saying that you disconnected from several years from your gift and you kind of pushed them away just by going through a rebellious teenage stage or even through drugs and alcohol later on in your 20s, you went through yoga teacher training and completely stopped all the other mind-altering stuff, and your gifts really became uncapped and they took off. And so I just wanted to get your take on that. Do you feel like most people do that we kind of are not scared of what's the Marianne Williams quote where she says, our deepest fear is that we're scared of how awesome and great we are?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I work with, that's like, 50%, I think, of my clientele. They want to get in touch with their purpose, and they want to get in touch with their gifts, whether it's intuitive gifts or, entrepreneurial gifts, creative gifts, like whatever category their gifts fall under. And, they kind of are stuck playing small. People, I think we all can play small because we're scared of rejection, or we have stories about what other people will think of us. We just make these things up in our heads, and then we get stuck in this, this kind of small world. And, it takes a lot of really accepting ourselves and releasing those fears and, kind of coming to a peace with about everybody's not going to love us, but actually the world isn't quite as harsh as we make it out to be in our mind when we're in that fear state.
Yesterday, you posted an outstanding picture, by the way.
Thank you.
You're one of those types of ladies that gets, the fine wine type of girls, and all men can appreciate. I think all women appreciate this as well, but real gentlemen do as well. But you're one of those times that you get prettier and prettier every single day that goes on. And yesterday you posted an outstanding picture, and I just wanted to bring this up, not in a flirtatious way with you, but your sister does amazing photographic work, and it's like one of my bucket list things is to have your sister photograph me. I know that's kind of off topic of you, but I just wanted to give acknowledgement to that. Outstanding picture yesterday. Yesterday I have a new favorite, and I was just going to read what you posted with me from the picture to go through this different sort of chaos in our mind. But anyway, go ahead. Your sister is... I was just going to, since you brought her up, just say, Kim Bajorek Photography, if anyone wants to check her out. Just as a little... Yeah, she's phenomenal.
I have to market her because she's amazing.
Yeah, she's great. I've reached out to her personally before. But you said yesterday, it's easy to get caught up in the chaos. And by the way, we're reading from Sarah. We're talking with Sarah Renee. You can find her on Facebook. Just Google Sarah Renee. That's S-A-R-A-H. S-A-R-A-H. Renee, R-E-N-E-E. R-E-N-E-E. Sarah Renee. You can find her on Facebook and connect. You said it's easy to get caught up in the chaos of the world and lose track of your joy. And I think this is on point here, and I want to get to it before we get into the guided stuff and the actual practical implementation of going from your gut. Nurturing your happiness and your joy is just as important as developing your purpose and learning your lessons. Okay, nurturing happiness and joy is just as important as developing your purpose and your lessons. I believe that if people could get in touch with their joy more often, they would experience more clarity, more creativity, more spiritual breakthroughs, and more fulfilling relationships. Now, I think that's what we all want, right? So get in touch with their own joy. Go do something simply because it makes you smile. How do we get in touch with our own joy in your experience?
I think a lot of it boils down to giving ourselves permission, like especially in emergencies. And, I can speak to this from my own life, as well as seeing clients who, I have a client whose son killed themselves, recently. And I mean, people who are going through like unbelievable trauma, but, on a personal level, I've had like family drama this past year and just, like a lot of stuff and nothing, awful, but some stress. And I had to really learn how to practice this myself instead of just, teaching others. And it really, I think it starts with like giving yourself permission that like, yes, I'm in a hard time right now, or yes, work is stressing me out or family's stressing me out, but like, it's okay to take, a couple hours off and go laugh and do something fun. Cause we get in this, this like panic mode that we have to figure this out, right? We have to like find a solution to our problem. And, I think we just start to take it too seriously and we just forget, the value of actually taking a break and just like having some fun for a little bit. And it actually, I find it can clear your mind. And then when you come back and look at your problem, you can actually have new ideas, or even just the energy of walking away from it. It just kind of opens it up for different solutions to come about. And, so I think it helps solve the problem, even though, that doesn't really seem like it would, but it actually does.
Mm-hmm. Because I want to take it one step further. I mean, because you kind of tied this together in the post, but the reason I wanted to ask you, I think that it's almost like I'm coming more and more to the conclusion that the purpose of everyone's life is to have joy.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're talking about just kind of stepping away and getting clear, I go to yoga and I call this a practice of non-reactivity, and it really gives you a much more calm and centered kind of strength and power that I just kind of have to love.
Absolutely.
Let's move on to the meat and potatoes for the sake of the time. On the 24th of September of this past year, you wrote on your blog, using your intuition to get ahead in business. And this is one of the topics that I was just at. When I saw this post, I was inspired for our entire conversation today. Using your intuition to get ahead in business. I've kind of set this up for the people who are listening all week. We have our central nervous system in our brain. We have our sympathetic nervous system and our parasympathetic nervous system, which kind of guides our fight or flight and our relax and digestion kind of modes of our body. And then you've got this enteric nervous system, which is this deeper gut brain, this deeper level wraps, as a medical professional, I was telling folks yesterday that 95% of all the serotonin that we commonly have associated with depression and other mood disorders in the body, but 95% of it's in the gut. It's really in the belly. And anytime that a doctor might give you Zoloft or whatever, and we have side effects such as constipation, mood and irritability kind of go together, right? It says constipation, mood, irritability, suicidal thoughts, because they all come together down in the gut. And it's one of these medical things that we just don't even know our own body. But you, by being able to tap into that, tap the gut into the ether and connect with the other side, I just think it's absolutely fascinating. And when you come back to a practical application like business, I'm all in. I'm ears. So if you don't mind, how do we use our intuition to get ahead in business? What's some common practices?
It's you can really. You can bring your kind of that gut instinct or gut intuition into, everything that you do. My favorite way is, every time we meet someone, and we talk about first impressions of people and how to give off a first impression and all of that. But I think it actually goes to a deeper level, that it's when we first meet someone before our mind has, gone off with all of this logical stuff that we know about them. It's just our gut intuition. And so we're really, feeling into them. So I tell people, anytime they're meeting a possible, someone that they could be collaborating with, or, interviewing someone that they may want to hire, anything that they're going to work with someone else in their business, to just really, like, at that first introduction, kind of, take a second and just, like, tune in. And, just like you were talking about, I feel like most of us get our intuitive hits in our stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where our power center is, if you want to talk like chakras and yoga and all that. But it's,
that Kundalini.
We all know, like if you wanted to go into like Kundalini, it's like that's where everything kind of rises. That's the third chakra, is in the stomach, and that's all, our personal power, our willpower, our decision making, all of that is really, rooted right there in our gut. And so when you meet someone, if you feel into, okay, do I have a bad feeling in my stomach? Do I have is my stomach like tight? Or, do I feel really good and really like confident and calm? And so just like taking a second to 30 seconds, just to check in can make all the difference on like who you decide to bring into your business, and, who you decide to, maybe this isn't a right fit right now. And then, I also talk to people about, running meetings and running productive meetings, and kind of, taking a minute when you walk into a room of people, even if it's, 2 or 3, or if it's, 10 to 20, and just sensing the energy. Like, are people tired? Is it super serious? Or is there, angry or irritable? Because you want to really, do whatever you have to do, or say whatever you have to say, to adjust that energy so that it's, productive space, a supportive space, that it's, open to new ideas, and to get things really like flowing, so that you can, make progress, so that it's not a pointless meeting that's just wasting time that could be, implementing things.
I get this.
And then, yeah.
I get the sense that you can, whenever you're saying, you check in with the energy of the room for these productive business meetings, is there anger? Is there irritability? Do we want an environment that's supportive and nurturing ideas, et cetera? Yeah, but I still get the sense that you can change the state of this whole gut brain, this intuitive thing, by just breathing through it. I mean, how we go through the guided breaths of yoga, where you're really inhaling, power down into the core and even into the sacral base, and then you kind of exhale back out through, the front of the body, away from.
Yeah, so, you can even, you can just set an intention and just say, like, wow, like there's some really negative energy in here. Like, even if you don't have to know what it is. Just knowing that, you can just say, like, okay, I'm just going to breathe, and, I'm just going to, like, put out light, or I'm going to put out positivity or productivity or whatever it is that you want to be in that space, and just, inhale and then just, like, exhale and just almost, like, picture, that energy that you want there, going through your breath and just filling up the room. That's a really good technique.
So is this kind of the same thing that you're describing, though, is the aura or your kind of field around your body? You walk into a room, you're just kind of in balance, or a good vibe.
Yeah, like if we were to meet up and I, was really pissed off if I had just had, a fight with someone or something, I'm sure you would be able to feel it, in my energy field. You'd be like, whoa, stay away from this girl. But, so it's the same. It's like sensing the energy around someone. It's just kind of more practical ways to do that rather than, having to go like get those like aura photographs done or whatever it is they do, or something like that.
Well, we're talking with Sarah Renee. You can go to her website, healwithsarahrenee.com. We're going to talk, Sarah, about some practical application of this.
Okay.
So we've kind of checked in. We've kind of discussed what it is, the gut brain, intuition, your kind of vibration. You walk up to somebody, am I in phase with this person, out of phase, good vibes, bad vibes, etc. I want to know how to do how to use this power in my life and my business to get an instant and transformational result today. Can you walk us through that process?
Yes. So I've put together it's super short, super easy to do. I'm all about, I always tell my guides, give me practical things to teach people that anyone can do in real time, because, we don't always have 2 hours to go sit and meditate on something. So it's just a short little visualization, and this is going to help you feel into your decisions because, Jason, you and I were talking about how so many people come to me, because they stress out about making decisions. I mean, they call me for all sorts of decisions from, dating someone to business to, should I take this job to, should I move, etc. So I put together this, short little meditation to just kind of teach you how to feel into your own decisions so that you can make really clear, confident choices in any area. So I'll just walk us through. So we're just going to start and just, if you can take a minute and just close your eyes and have, hopefully you're sitting, unless you're driving or something, then obviously don't close your eyes. But we're just going to take a big inhale through our noses and then open your mouth and just exhale, let everything go. And then just 2 more like that. Inhale through your nose. And open your mouth, exhale. And last one, inhale. And open your mouth, exhale. And I just want you to bring into your awareness some decision that you are experiencing challenges with. Something that's just kind of weighing on you or stressing you out. It can be super small, it can be super big, whatever it is. First thing that pops into your mind is usually what, your body wants to address. And then now you're just going to picture in front of you just this white basket. It's like just this glowing, white basket. It almost looks like similar to one of those baskets that you would ride in that's connected to a hot air balloon. And just, it's like this radiating white basket, and it's right in front of you. And you're just going to start putting in it all of your fears related to this decision. So all of your fears that you're going to make the wrong choice. Any stories you have around not trusting your choices that you've made in the past. And then you're also going to throw into that basket everyone else who is interjecting their, opinions into your decision-making process. Opinions from your family, from your friends, from your coworkers, all of those, well-meaning people. You're just going to put their can put them in there if they're really stressing you out, or you can just put their opinions, any stories coming up, all the stress, all the pressure around having to make this decision, by some date. Just gonna fill that basket, just fill it all the way up with all that stuff. And then we're just going to call on Archangel Michael and our guardian angels. And we're going to ask that they come down to us right now and that they please take our baskets filled with all this stuff up into the light to transmute that energy into something positive. And just let them, really take that off your chest for you. The angels are here to help. Okay, so now we got rid of all that stuff. You're just going to take whatever options you have one by one, and whatever comes up first, just take that first option and just like almost picture placing it like in your gut. And so you're just feeling it in your stomach. And then you're just really going to tune in right now, and you're going to just notice, like, does my stomach get really tight? Do I feel nauseous at all? Do I feel nervous? What's going on inside, like on a physical level? And if you are experiencing, nausea, nervousness, if your stomach just got super, super tense or feeling acidic, you're going to know that even if that choice makes logical sense, something about it isn't right for you right now, so you're just going to let it go. Just going to, no more wasting time agonizing over it. You're just going to release it, let it go. That's not the right choice for you at this time. And so you're just going to go through each choice and feel it in your stomach. And when you feel one that you feel really calm and really at ease about, or, you can even feel really excited about it, even if it makes no logical sense, if your stomach's yes, really relieved and just super stoked, that's the one that you want to make. But even calm, at ease feeling, that's your choice right now. And so when you feel that, you're just going to keep that choice, and you're just going to tell yourself, just in your own mind, thank you to my body, thank you to my higher self, thank you to my angels for helping me find this choice that is in my highest and greatest good. To Archangel Michael and my guardian angels and my guides, I always invite you to intervene on the behalf of my own good and help lead me to make the best choices for myself. And you're just going to trust that even if this choice isn't a final choice, it can be a step in the right direction for you. It can always get you to another place. And so really, just letting yourself feel good about this decision that you just made. And again, we're just going to take a big inhale through your nose and exhale out of your mouth. Just letting all the stress around this go. And coming back, into our bodies, back into kind of our present awareness. And you can open your eyes and, there you go. Now you have this choice. Hopefully you found one that you felt good with. And that's how I make all of my decisions, and through an exercise, like this. And, it really changes things for people, and it can really get you moving in the right direction.
I went through that process, and not whatever came up was not what I was expecting. It's like I put the fears and the doubts and all the frustrations in the basket, sent them up, and what came back was actually very comfortable, but I kind of was pissed. I was like, oh, no, not again. Really? I mean, it sounds interesting, doesn't it? We'll have to go through it privately after the call. And speaking of privately after the call, you've got a way for people to get in touch with you. If you've got a big decision with long-term relationships, business, whether it's divorce, finances, maybe a house, a car, your big purchases, kids, all of these types of really big things that you just want to go one-on-one with, but you've kind of got, you want to make yourself available to the audience today, correct?
Yes, I do.
Because what just came up for me, I'll be in touch. That's all I'm saying. Tell me how to do that.
Okay, so perfect. Yeah, so a lot of if you have more questions and need to go deeper into this, I do offer, I offer 1 hour sessions, but today I'm offering a special half an hour session to continue this conversation along with a follow-up email after that phone call, just to make sure we really have you going in the right direction. And I'm offering that for only $77, which is a really awesome deal. And so you can find me on Facebook, or if you go to healwithsarahrenee.com, there's a contact me page, and just fill it out and mention this call for that special offer, and I will get back to you and we'll get you in right away.
Awesome. Healwithsarahrenee.com. Just go there and at least get on her newsletter right now. But if you want to kind of continue down the journey for a half hour, coming up with getting clear on what just came up for you, and maybe making one of these important once in a lifetime types of decisions, it's a great deal. 30 minutes, $77, can't go wrong. And then you do all of these types of things throughout from time to time. I think it's like on Tuesdays or Thursdays, and you say just ask me anything, and right? I think that's kind of cool.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, I usually advertise it on Facebook. So if you connect with me on there, and I do single questions for only $15, and I just send you a little invoice. You pay me, you send your question either Facebook Messenger or email, and I right back to you. And it's really nice because it's a cheap way to just kind of check in on certain things.
I love it. Hey, we've went over, but there's one final question, as bonus content for those who remain with us. We're speaking with Sarah Renee. I've got one final wrap-up question for you, if you don't mind. You got 3 minutes?
Sure.
2 minutes?
Of course. Go for it.
I always love to ask, what are the top 3 tips that we can use to wake up and be awesome? In other words, in your opinion, because I think one of the things that I would love to be able to speak on at length with you, but we haven't even been able to touch the surface today. You've got such an amazing transformational story in your own right. And I just want to pay homage to that. I mean, you were just really, you've changed your life, and it is out freaking standing. It's amazing. What are the top 3 ways that you feel that most average common people, just kind of the things that we may not already even know, but we just don't do, the common knowledge, but doesn't equal common practice? What are the top 3 things we can do and wake up and be awesome?
I am a huge fan of gratitude lists. And I know a lot of people have heard of those, and it's just like I pick 10 things. You can pick 5 to 10 things, and you just write it down, just 10 things each day that you're grateful for. And it can be as simple as, a cup of coffee in the morning, or, a big bonus at work, or whatever. Because that really, and I like doing it at night, but I've been practicing it in the morning lately, and I really like that because it helps you start off your day with that grateful mindset. So you're automatically going to look through your day for things to be grateful for to put on your list tomorrow. So I think that's something huge that everyone can take a couple minutes to do. I'm also a huge fan of mirror work, because I really, hated myself for a very long time. That's like a deep-rooted, issue that I spent a lot of years working on. And when I talk to people and work with people, I find out so many people that you would never guess, they just don't like themselves. And so I think looking in the bathroom mirror just while you're getting ready in the morning, and just thinking, just trying to think of positive things about yourself. You don't have to go too, you don't have to have a super strict routine about it, but just trying to think of positive things, telling yourself I love you, you got this, you can do this, kind of switching that self-talk from a negative place to a positive place. That really changes, it changes what you put out. It'll change your vibe for the whole day. It really is crazy how even if you don't believe it at first, just fake it till you make it, because it really, really helps a lot. And then, I think back to what we've been speaking about, really trusting your intuition, especially in the times when it's hard, when your mind is going to go against what your intuition says. And, I have friends that, are in law enforcement, and I mean, they use that. They will go into a situation that they think is super safe. They think it's no big deal, but like something's off in their gut, and I mean, they trust that, and that, has saved lives. And, my own life, I've made decisions for logical reasons that have not worked out the best. But every time I make a decision because I really feel it in my gut, even if it makes no sense, it gets me to where I need to go some way or the other that I wouldn't have thought of. And so that's like a huge game changer for people when you really actually start listening to that and following that. And just checking in throughout the day, just keep reminding yourself, every time you take a break or, go on a walk or at lunch or something, just like, how am I feeling? What's going on? Just taking, 5 minutes to just check in.
Love that. And, I became a fan of mirror work just this week. Isn't that weird? I mean, it's weird that you brought it up. And it's weird for guys like me, mirror work, what? And if I say, what's your top three? Mm-hmm. Because, I remember even as a kid when my pastor at church, and he asked me to look at a picture of Jesus Christ. And he says, Jason, I want you to look right there and look him in the eye, this kind of thing when you're a kid growing up with your pastor. And I couldn't do it. I mean, I could, but it was it brought up some really uncertain things for me. And, I always make jokes that I have a face for radio, which is not deprecating humor. It's legit, right? But it is what it is. I feel like there's irrational phobias about video that people are either going to come through the screen and eat me alive or, but anyway, so I go to yoga and, the front of the room, the front of the class is, floor to ceiling, wall to wall, mirror, right? And who likes going up to the front and standing in front of that damn thing for 60 minutes? Not me, not me. Why?
No.
And because I always, and it's always crowded. I'm always the last one to walk in. And where do I, like for the past 3 days, man, where am I standing in front of doing my practice for an hour? Right in front of that damn mirror. And I hated it the first time. And there's a lady going through the yoga teacher training in there right now. So she's, at the main front of the class, all the way over to the right corner. And she says, come on up. Don't be afraid of the front. And I said, I'm not really afraid of the front per se. I'm afraid of that damn mirror right in front of me. And, I'm serious about this. So when you say like mirror work and just standing in front of the mirror in the bathroom, it's very uncomfortable to kind of just look at yourself. But if we really go back into, deeper spiritual teachings of all religions and philosophies, where we know that God is inside of us. God is inside of us, no matter if it's Christian, Muslim, Jew. It does not matter what religion or God is inside of you. And you have to be able to look yourself straight in the eye. And I found that yoga in particular is great for this. And I know I'm rambling about it. You just brought it up out of nowhere. And I'm thinking, wow, this is really bringing up some trigger stuff for me. But, you look yourself right in the eye, and as you're doing yoga, you really start to appreciate your body anyway. I don't have a perfect body, but every, like muscular rip or something, like it's going on. But even the scars and even, jacked up teeth or hair or whatever, you're just kind of looking at it, and you're just getting honest with yourself. It really pulls back this reflection, the reflective thing that we'd like for everybody to see, but it doesn't. It just kind of bounces back to us, and that's called the delusions that we put on ourselves. And that mirror, man, I've found that you're right. I've never heard anybody included in their top three, but I've had some crazy experiences with it this week, and I can see when it comes to changing the self-talk, right? Putting the words that you speak to yourself are what you're going to put out in the universe, and whatever you do, exactly. That's those I am statements, those declarations that we make with our words that shape everything. And if you really want to change all of that, just change the way that you look and feel about yourself. And mirror work could be profound with that. I mean, if you really truly believe that, that Joel Osteen, for example, is right, these powerful I am statements, that Wayne Dyer is right. You got to change the way you talk to yourself. And the way that you do that is just stand naked in front of a mirror, sweating your ass off at yoga with it 113 degrees. I'm serious, man. It breaks you down and it will change your life.
It does. It does.
And I still...
when you change that, you change everything.
And I'm still not happy.
Your life will change.
I'm still not happy with what came up for me with my question. This sucks.
Good. I'm curious to talk about it.
I know, right?
It's going to be good.
Anyway, so closing thoughts. Final thoughts, 30 seconds, wrap us up.
I think people don't really realize that, we're all intuitive. My intuition is just at a different degree, based on the work that I do. But, it really just comes into use in all aspects of our life. And I think that if people were really living their best life, if they were living in tune with their inner voice and their inner intuition, they wouldn't be angry, they wouldn't be overeating, they wouldn't be disconnected, they wouldn't be in unhealthy relationships or in unhealthy jobs. And so, that's really what it boils down to, is my mission of, helping people, little by little, to just live a life that they love, so that we can be happy and we can be at peace while we're here.
Love that. Getting connected to your intuition and your belief then is pretty much it's really the root level of a healthy, happy, richer life. I mean, that's worthy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for coming out with us today for the first time, and I do hope that you'll come back again soon. Maybe even sit down for an hour.
Thank you so much for having me.
It would be an honor to have you back. So, healwithsarahrenee.com is her website. Sarah Renee on Facebook. Look her up and find her. And I hope that you'll make a commitment to join us back here again tomorrow. Like I said, Rachel Feldman joined us, same bat time, same bat channel. And for now, my good friends and my neighbors, this call is a wrap.